There is a version of you that is coming, not the version you planned for, not the version you worked toward through goals and effort and careful becoming. Something else. Something that has been building in the dark, in the silence. In every moment you chose truth over comfort and solitude over performance. It has been assembling itself without your permission, and now it is almost here. And the terrifying, extraordinary thing about it is this. Even she is afraid of what she is becoming. Most people think transformation works in a straight line. You grow, you improve, you become a better version of yourself. Still recognizable, still familiar, still comfortable to be around. The Sigma female's final form is not that. Everything that was held together by fear, by the need for approval, by the habit of making yourself available to people who did not deserve you, all of it falls away. Not gently, not gradually, all at once. Like a structure that was always temporary, finally admitting what it was. No transformation of this magnitude comes free. The first cost is the relationships that could not survive her growth. Not because she pushed anyone away, but because she stopped shrinking herself to fit inside connections that were only comfortable when she was smaller than she actually was. She lets them go, even when it hurts. Even when part of her wants to make herself small again just to keep the peace. That is the first price. The second cost is the version of herself that was easy to love. The soft-edged version. The one who laughed too quickly and agreed too readily and always had time for everyone and never asked for anything in return. That version was beloved. She was useful. She was safe. The final form is none of those things. She is honest in a way that makes people uncomfortable. She is no longer easy. She is real. And real is harder to love than easy, but it is the only thing worth loving. The third cost is certainty. She does not know in the middle of the transformation what she is becoming. She cannot see the other side. The old self no longer fits. The new one is not yet solid. She is navigating by something deeper than thought, older than logic. She is navigating by truth, and truth is quiet, and truth is patient, and truth does not always show you where you are going. The first sign, your silence has changed. It used to be that when you went quiet, you were processing hurt, swallowing pain, giving someone else the room to fill the space you deserved. Now, when you go quiet, there is no pain in it. There is no waiting. There is only clarity. A silence that feels complete, not empty. That is not the same silence you carried before. The second sign, you have stopped trying to be understood by the wrong people. You used to spend enormous energy trying to explain yourself. Your choices, your values, your needs, your nature. You rehearsed conversations. You hoped that if you said it the right way, they would finally see you. You have stopped. Not in defeat, in recognition. Some people are not built to see you, and that is no longer your problem to solve. The third sign, solitude no longer feels like something happening to you. It feels like something you are choosing. The quiet of your own company has become one of the most honest, genuinely nourishing experiences in your life. You return to it not because no one is there, but because everything you need is. The fourth sign, you are afraid of yourself. Not in a way that paralyzes you. In a way that means you are standing at the edge of your own depth and you can see how far it goes and you do not yet know how to live at that depth every day. That specific fear, that vertigo, is the doorway. You are at the threshold. I want to speak directly to you for a moment. To the specific person watching this who felt something shift when they heard those words. The vertigo, the silence that changed, the exhaustion of explaining yourself to people who were never going to understand. You are not broken. You are not too much. You are not difficult or cold or disconnected. You are in the middle of something that most people never go through. And that means you're doing it largely alone. Largely without a map, without anyone around you able to name what they are watching happen to you. This video is not trying to explain you to someone else. It is trying to name something you are already living from the inside. On of herself, she will move so far from ordinary human experience that real connection will no longer be possible. That the people she loves will not recognize the woman she is becoming. that she will end up somewhere extraordinary and entirely alone. This fear is real. It is not irrational, but here is what it does not tell you. The connections that survive her becoming, the ones that find her in the final form rather than the performance of herself, those connections are of a quality and depth she has never experienced before. The second fear is her own power, not in an abstract sense, in the specific, immediate sense of what it means to act from complete self-trust, to make decisions without deferring to others, to occupy space without guilt, to need nothing from anyone in a way that changes every dynamic around her. Power, when you are not used to using it cleanly, can feel dangerous. But her power is not that kind. The fear teaches her to hold it carefully, and that is important. The third fear is the simplest and the hardest. She is afraid that if she fully becomes who she is, like without apology, without editing, without managing how she is perceived, she will no longer belong anywhere. This fear is not entirely wrong. She will not belong in the places she used to belong, but she will belong somewhere she has not yet arrived at. Here is what took her a long time to understand. The fear she feels when she looks at what she is becoming, that cold, clear, expansive fear, is not the body's signal to stop. It is the signal that she is standing exactly at the edge of herself, that she has reached the end of what she already knows herself to be. Fear and danger feel identical from the inside, but they are not the same thing. Danger is a threat to your survival. This fear is a threat to your smallness, and your smallness deserves to be threatened. Every version of herself she was afraid to become, she survived. She was afraid the first time she told the truth and lost someone over it. She survived. She was afraid the first time she chose her own peace over someone else's approval. She survived. Each time the fear arrived, she met it. Each time she met it, something became permanent that used to be provisional. She has been walking toward this for longer than she knows. She does not talk as much as she used to, not because she has less to say, but because she has become selective about who deserves to hear it. The words she does speak land differently now. People notice. They cannot always say why. There is a quality in how she carries herself that has no performance in it, no management, no calibration for an audience. She is simply present in herself in a way that most people spend their entire lives searching for and never quite reaching. She is patient in a way she was not before, not the patience of someone waiting for things to change. The patience of someone who understands that everything is happening in its right time, and her only work is to remain aligned with what she knows to be true. She has stopped arguing with reality. She bends where bending is wisdom. She holds where holding is truth. She knows the difference now. She always knew it. Now she trusts it. She is alone more than most people would choose. She is lonelier than she lets anyone see. And she would not trade it. Not for the company that required her smallness, not for the belonging that cost her her honesty. She knows that real company, the kind that holds the full weight of who she is rare. She is patient for it. In the meantime, she has herself. And herself finally, completely, without reservation, is enough. Somewhere right now, there is another woman in the middle of the same chrysalis. She is also afraid of what she is becoming. She is also paying the same prices. The relationships that couldn't hold the weight of her growth, the easy version of herself that is no longer available, the certainty she had to surrender to reach something realer. She is also navigating by something older than logic. She is also afraid and moving anyway. The final form is not something that happens to extraordinary women. It is what happens to ordinary women who refuse, again and again, to be less than they actually are. You are that woman. You have always been that woman. If this video found you, stay with us.